How's it going, everybody? Wherever you listen to this podcast right here, this is episode 134 of the TempahZone podcast with your host, me, Amir Max, and that's all facts. And ladies and gentlemen, me and my special guest did not coordinate the colors that we're wearing right now. It just so happened to be that way. But my special guest in the Zoom building, y'all, is somebody who I met through the Bars Over Bars establishment and was really impressed with his performances, his just the presence on stage, and just the music in general. Just somebody, I was able to get along with just through that. And I'm just, somebody who I was definitely happy to have on the show here, ladies and gentlemen. I got Invicte in the Zoom building.
Yeah.
What's going on, man? How you feeling?
Nothing. I feel great. I feel sensational. Whimsical.
Whimsical. Wow. Yeah, that's a good word. Feeling whimsical is dope, man. Absolutely, yo. Before we got into starting the episode up, man, you were telling me that you're in college, you said?
I am in college, yes.
Now, when I was in college, I felt it was pretty hard to balance the music and schooling. What is that like for you right now, man? Like, how does it feel to be juggling all that at once?
All right, so there can be times where it does get hard, but I mean, you just stay on top of it and just don't fall back, and you'll be good. You know what I mean? Obviously, the schooling comes first and stuff like that, but just I don't know, keep going. You know what I mean? I think just have a good balance. Don't slack up on the because all right, so like a lot of people, whenever they have a hobby outside, they'll slack up on the work or they won't see it as important because you have these aspirations that I might make it big in this hobby and that I'm doing all this stuff. I kind of have a realistic balance. Like I have set days when I record, when I do this, when I perform and all that stuff, and then obviously the college is nonstop.
Yeah. Time management is extremely important when you got your hobbies.
That's the word.
Time management, yeah, man. A little football terminology right there. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, I think that's really dope to hear, and it clearly shows that you're passionate about it because it's tough. It's tough to juggle all that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it could be worse. Though.
I used to play football. OD, like not gonna lie, Pop Warner through high school. I used to play.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, but I mean, probably for obvious reasons, but maybe but I gotta ask, what made you stop playing football, man?
All right. So I broke my arm a couple times. And it kept breaking again. So I was like, all right, well, do I keep playing the sport that I love or do I keep breaking my arm?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, you know what I mean? So I'm like, let me just stop playing it. But it's funny because secret confession.
Go for it, man.
I stopped playing in sophomore year because my arms like that. But there would be days where I would skip practice to go home and record music, and I wasn't any good at it. I was very trash when I first started rapping, and then I just kept going with it.
Yeah.
But then through me not playing football anymore, I ended up finding I really love entertainment, and that's when I started getting into acting, which I'm in college for now. It was theater.
Oh, okay. So you're in college for theater, man. Okay, wow, that's very dope, man. Well, I definitely think that's a good outlet for you to take. Do you feel that like there's things you're doing in class that like you wish you didn't have to? Like what's it like majoring in something like that? Because I feel like you probably have to go through some things that might be a little uncomfortable. You know what I mean?
Actually, no. I haven't had anything that's uncomfortable. I just love the performing of it. I would say the most. Okay, so the hardest part I felt like was really letting myself go and be comfortable because I always had the talent for acting. I've always had this love for it. Not to sound like a narcissist, but you know what I mean? But I feel like I got better at it once I was just stop giving a fuck about what other people are going to think of me when I do this thing on stage. And, it's so much better now.
Yeah. No, that's dope, and it's such a big form of an expression that you're doing theater, and just I feel like it's a very unique outlet in terms of media because it's just like you're pretending to be a whole different person. It's different with rap. You're trying to maybe make yourself embellish on things or really play into who you are. So I feel like with theater, it's definitely one of those things that you gotta be very open with, but being a theater major and making the music has starting in school have you seen it change how you make your music or how you go about things like your covers or just how you write? How's it affected the music aspect?
Honestly, going back to just don't give a fuck, just let go, do what you want to do. Because I feel like once I'm let's say I'm performing, right, and some people go on stage and then some people have more energy than others and stuff like that because it just happens. Everyone has different flows of energies. So I don't know. I guess at first I'll be like, well, this person doesn't have that much energy. So if I go on here, I don't want to like have this much energy because I'm gonna look like a weirdo. Let me just keep match the energy, match the vibe. Everyone's cool and lit, but I'm like, you know what? Fuck that. I'm gonna be me. I'm Invicte. I'm gonna
Hmm.
give the Invicte energy. I love giving and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
yeah.
know. Yeah. No offense to anybody too. Like I wasn't trying to. Yeah, me trying
Nah,
to say my
man.
own ass.
No.
I'm not trying to offend anybody, but
Oh,
like, yeah,
bro. Yeah, I mean, let me tell you something, man. With the amount of things I've heard rappers say, I've heard far more things that would be considered more pretentious and whatnot.
oh,
Oh, it is, yeah.
I'm trying to be the golden child of this of the underground raps.
Yeah. You got to be
I'm not trying to
confident.
offend anybody.
Yeah, you got to be confident when you do this rap shit. I feel like this is like the only genre that I feel that's just like that type of competitive level. So like, I feel you, man. Like you got to come at it with a certain level of confidence that it's not really asked of you in other genres, and that's I think what makes hip hop special is that
Yeah,
you got to have some sort, you got to have a level of confidence, but also being smart with how you portray yourself and whatnot like that, man. So I feel you, man. I feel you, and no one's gonna say you incorrect there. But I definitely want to ask you though, with how you put together your music and the covers and just the overall sound in general, man. What made you decide to upload your music to the streaming platforms or just get the ball rolling on that?
well, this could be a juicy story, long
Yeah,
story. Okay, so,
we got time, man. We got
like
time.
going back to what I was saying about the football thing, how it skipped to go like record music and stuff like that. I would record it on BandLab before the BandLab really blew up out of nowhere. I would
Hmm.
record on BandLab stuff like that. It wasn't any good, and me deep down, I go back and listen to it. And at the time, I was like, "Oh my god, this is so good! Oh, I'm so radical." And then now I go back and listen to those first tracks I make, and I'm like, "Damn, those are horrible." But continuing with the story was I didn't feel comfortable putting anything out. I would just do it as like a side gig and stuff like that. But all through high school, I always had headphones on, listening to music, stuff like that, all types of stuff. And kids would make comments being like, "You must listen to a lot of music," or "Do you make music? You always listen to music. You have headphones on." Da 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 thing. I would keep it secret for a while, and then it's gonna sound like some sim shit. But then I got into a relationship back in senior year that ended pretty badly. And I guess at the time I was just like sitting there like, damn, I had a lot of stuff on my mind and I had like a lot of stuff written down that I was like, I'm gonna just make a song and just tell people on my Instagram like, hey, if I were to make music, would y'all fuck with it pretty much and like drop it? Because I don't know for some I don't know if I was searching for a sense of like validation within myself at the time. Don't know what I was going through. I was being a dumbass, even though I was like 2 years removed from that now. But you know what I'm 3 now. But then I was like, fuck it. So just put out the music, and people said, "Yeah, I'll listen to. I'll fuck with it," because I was known with the kid with the headphones on, listening to music, stuff like that. So I dropped the first song. I think it's horrible now, going back listening to it, but it was like a thing, and people listen to it, they're like, "Oh, he's got a fire. Just slow down. You're rapping too fast." And I'm, damn. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
how I got into it.
yeah. I mean, well, I mean, the likelihood you make your first song as a banger is just like it's like extremely low. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I think anybody who drops their first hit is first song is a banger. That's an anomaly. That's a very unique case right there, man. So you got to start somewhere with it, and yeah. I mean, people were critiquing it, and you just learn from there. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's one of the dope things there. What got how did you connect with Bars Over Bars and start performing? Was working with them your first time performing? Talk about hitting the stage.
yeah. That is, yeah. That was my first time performing, and
Oh wow.
the only people I performed with actually like bars over bars. All right, so I was on Instagram and I saw I don't know if I know he changed his name like no offense, I don't remember what he changed his name to, but a Halloween head ass. We
Yeah.
went to high school together and stuff like that.
Oh
So like we
wow.
weren't really close like that, but like I knew of him and it wasn't like we weren't close like that. But I followed him on Instagram and I saw like he had a performance and I'm like, fuck man. I'm already and mind you, this is like a year deep into me doing my music. I had just released my album and I'm just like, fuck man, how did this kid perform shows? Like that's really dope. And then I went on my Instagram stalking mode while at work at Olympia Sports. I went on it and I found Bars Above Bars. I sent them DMs And I was like, yo, can I perform? And he was like, nah, we're all booked out for tonight, but like any future shows, I got you. I'm like, damn, that sucks. Then I'm on my break. 40 minutes later, I get a text from Hero. Yo, somebody dropped out. You want to come fill in real quick? I was like, shit. But the conflict was that I had to close the store down. And it's Sunday. I was the only one. I was the only manager there. So I'm like, fuck. I already had said yes already because I'm like, oh, I'm doing it. But I'm like, damn. Well, I need time to like dip and stuff like that. And then I called my boss. I told him the whole lowdown. He's like, I got you. He
Wow.
pulled up. I ran. I know it's gonna sound my childish, but I ran, bowed down to him, got up, and ran out the job. Rushed my ass over to to a smoke shop. I forgot what it was called, but it's since closed down. That was the last performance they had there. It was a nice place. So the people there were nice. But onto the point, onto the main story was that yeah, then I performed there. Stuff like that. First time I went on second, super nervous, but like yeah, I definitely remember like a big takeaway was seeing shout out Musically Sincere because seeing him perform, I was like, yo, he's fire. Like that was
Yeah,
like my
and
first person that like grabbed me.
yeah,
He was fire.
Sincere's crazy dope live, man. And what were some
I
of
just
the
want to know this.
yeah. He's the dude's got crazy good stage presence, man. Well, what was what from that first performance you did? What were some takeaways that you had on yourself as an artist, yourself as a person? What were some things you took away from that first time hitting the stage?
Oh my god, damn, that's such a deep question. Damn, I never even thought about that.
Yeah, man.
I
Hey,
would
man.
say definitely.
Performing something else, it could be a lot. So I had to ask,
I would say definitely the first thing that hit me was definitely the stage fright because I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, what if I forget my lines? Which I ended up forgetting some lines. But then,
Shake it off.
okay, so I would say like, you ever been in like, obviously you have, but like, all right, so you ever took like a writing class like way back when, and like the teacher would show you the plot, but like like the rising action, the climax, and it'll go down and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So the rising action was my first, like the first time I performed, right? Then something hit me in the middle where I was like, you know what? When I hit this last song, well, middle, but like towards the end, I was like, when I hit this middle, like this last song, I just got to be myself, honestly, because I'm like really nervous. I'm petrified. I'm thinking, man, am I going to be as good as these other guys going after me? What are they thinking of my music? Do they think I'm trash? Everyone has a poker face on. And then some people are nodding, and I'm like, is that a fake nod or is that a real nod? You know what I mean? Like, I want to know if I'm actually good or not. And then I was like, fuck, I'm gonna be myself. And then when I hit that last song, I saw a couple people were like, hey, 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 and I was like, okay, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Definitely though, I was definitely confidence. I would say confidence is definitely like that hit me hard. Like towards the end, I was like, okay, I got to be confident because of okay. My ideology is that, and I got this from one of my teachers at college, one of my professors. He always says something like, if you initially come out and you're projecting that something is going to be bad, I'm automatically going to manipulate your brain to make you think that it's bad. But if
Mhm.
I hit you and I tell you, oh, this thing's going to be good, da 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 da, in your mind, you're already hyping yourself up like, oh, I'm going to like this. And nine times out of 10, you're going to sit there and you're going to like it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Uh-huh.
that's
And
my,
that,
that's
and
away from that.
no, I feel you, and I think the stage presence is such an important thing. Like someone's music could be just okay, but if they go on that stage, man, they just bring that energy and really
Yeah.
show up with that confidence. It can really turn things around, and it can be a main reason people end up liking the music. Like, oh wow, like him performing it with that passion made me realize, oh, this song's really hype. I would have never thought it until he performed it that way or done it that way. So, nah, man, confidence. Just like when you're, with your writing ability and how you feel as a rapper is the same way you gotta go about it when you're performing, even more so if you ask me. So yeah, that's real stuff, man. I love to hear that right there, man. I guess when it comes to the music though, I was going through the catalog, man, and one of the things I noticed with your music is you're not afraid to remix songs, and I feel like in this
Yeah.
day and age in 2023, I'm seeing a lot less of that. And there's always a multitude of reasons why people do it less and less nowadays. But for your reason, what made you say, I'm going to do remixes? I'm going to take these songs I like and put my own thing on it.
It was honestly just inspiration from artists that I really love.
Mm-hmm.
Like I heard like society bump through the playlist, like through my playlist, I listen to artists and I'm like, oh man, that beat is so fire. So I'm like, what if I did something like that? You know what I mean? So I'm like, but instead of like, well, I don't want to like kind of copy the style and put on a whole other beat and just be like, hey, this is totally original because it's not really my style. Just
Mm,
remix the shit, you know what I mean? But
yeah,
like, yeah, I know that's like a whack answer, but I don't know. I
not at
think
all.
remixes should be like come back because look at Joyner Lucas. Like he made a big name, a big splash off doing a bunch of remix, straight up murdering these beats that these other rappers were coming out with. Like his Gucci Game remix, his Bank Account remix, they were all going crazy.
Yeah.
So I feel like if or even Dax too, because Dax did a couple remix, that
Hmm.
YouTuber Dax.
Yeah.
So I feel like you know what I mean, like remixes are dope because I feel like damn how can I say this?
Nah, there's a lot of benefits to remixing, man. There's definitely a lot of
Yeah, like
benefits to it. Yeah.
more I think if everybody spreads out their ideas on probably the same thing, you know, like it could all be great. Like, look, okay, so Nas has oh man, I'm gonna butcher this because I don't know the exact name of the song, but Nas has a song. It came out back in 2004. I don't know the name of the song, but Tyler the Creator did
Hmm.
a remix to it on his album "Call Me If You Get Lost." The
Oh,
song
okay.
was called oh damn. Oh my god,
It's a
wow, I'm
lot of
butchering the
yeah,
name of the
yeah. I'm trying to
songs.
remember it
Okay,
too. That's a lot of info there. Maybe if you
uh
can put it together, I'd look it up. But
Manifesto by Tyler Creator on a Call Me If You Get Lost.
there
Then
we go.
I forgot the Nas song he remixed, but he remixed a Nas song there,
Yeah.
and it was just dope. Like seeing everybody else's ideas just like branch off each other, you can see the inspiration bleed off the. It's just dope. Because I have a
Hmm.
remix of that Kanye leak 530,
Yeah.
that leak, and again Kanye's probably like my biggest inspiration. Now I know he said a lot of controversial stuff like since
I
then,
mean,
but like
yeah.
musically, his talent wise, that's a big inspiration, and I a lot of people always say, yeah, I can tell you take a lot too much inspiration from Kanye because he's my inspiration. You know what I mean? Musically, he's my guy. That's he's my goat. He's my personal goat.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, the shit he said has definitely been wild, but you can't undo the music that he's put out and the impact he's had on the genre and just music in general.
Yeah,
And, you know, some things you just can't undo. So I think as time's gone by, and by time I mean like the few months since he's been quiet, I think people are like realizing like, yeah, when it comes to Kanye, like obviously he's on some wild shit, and it's gonna be tough to reverse the damage he's done, but you can't undo the music. Like I still go out, you
of
still hear
course.
Kanye. You still hear Kanye. Like it's you can't get rid of that. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, I don't think there's anything wrong with, you know, saying Kanye is the inspiration when it comes to the music. And you specified that very much so when you said that.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, I have many other inspirations, but he's like number one for me.
of course, hey man, look, the people, you know, you can't undo it. Like I said, man, it's just one of those things
Yeah,
with yeah, there, man. But I guess, you know, going back to the point you're remixing, man. You know, I think one of the things I hear people say, you know, when it comes to remixing is why would you put all that time in those lyrics and put it on a beat that's not even yours? To that statement, what would you say to someone who told you that? Like, why put those lyrics on a beat that's not yours? What's your reply to that?
why not? Why not?
There we go. Yeah.
Okay,
That acting
it's
like lyrics are gonna run out of something like, oh, I can't come up with more lyrics. Yeah, yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
if you are a really creative mind and you do nothing but grind and grind. I mean, look at Eminem. He reads the dictionary.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? How can he ever run out of lyrics? He's constantly studying and learning new words for the fun of it and for the love of it. You know what I mean? So if he really loves the sport and stuff like that, like why not do it? It's fun.
Hmm.
Think about it. Okay, so I don't want to fuck up my movie knowledge here, but you know what? Let me get something because I'll go get some Quentin Tarantino shit, but like I
Yeah,
don't
no, no.
that's too good with it. But okay,
Tarantino's a
so
beast.
let's say Batman '89 by Tim Burton, right?
Hmm.
You have that movie already. So why come out with Batman Begins? And then after that, why come out with the Batman? Why are we rebooting these franchises? Because why not? It's for the love of the franchise. It's for the love of movie making. So same thing applies to music. Why not remix it for the
Hmm.
fun of it? You're giving love to what became before you because a, a whole big thing is like from like you know the generational gap where like you know you have younger guys being like, well, old music's trash and stuff like that, not as good as it is now. And then you have the older guys saying, well, this new music isn't that great. When I was growing up, I had Tupac and
Yeah.
Biggie and
Yeah.
DMX. So it's
Mhm.
just like I feel like, well, where do we come from? You know what I mean? Like we came from the older generation, so it's like kind of just showing love to it while also spreading up our new ideas as well. And
Mhm.
same can be said with sampling too. It's all the same, like remixing and sampling. It's
Very,
just showing
very
love to the
well
older
related.
generation and just just showing respect, like giving them the flowers now, but of course spreading our new ideas and even building upon it and making it better at times.
Yeah, yeah. I love that
That's the
answer,
way I
man.
see it.
Yeah, it's as simple as that. And I mean, like, it's just, I think people are very drawn to things they're already familiar with. So if they see you make a remix of a beat they already know, then you're automatically, giving them half of a reason to check it out. It's like, oh, I know that beat. Let me hear how he, put himself over it. Yeah. So yeah, dog. It's just, I just had to ask you all that because it's just like you just don't see it a lot anymore. And it's like,
Yeah.
and I think the streaming era and how things are going now, it's just kind of change things, because you saw it more in the mixtape era, and then as things kind of went to the, more streaming stuff with Spotify, Apple, and stuff, it's died off. But hey, man, people,
It
I think
has.
maybe it'll be more of a resurgence with more people doing it. But I definitely just see
I
you
think there
in
should
your
be a
own lane.
resurgence.
Yeah, there should be. I mean,
There
I think.
should.
Yeah, I mean, we have the platform for. I mean, you can always use YouTube. You can always use, SoundCloud. People use those
TikTok
platforms.
even.
TikTok, yeah, exactly. I mean, like, it won't hurt you to just do that, and like you say, with Joyner, he literally was part of the reason, like, he just had his blow up. He's remixing songs where people weren't gonna rap like that over it. So yeah. Yeah,
Oh
man.
yeah.
Yeah, so no, I love the response to that, man. But now away from remixes, I guess I'll ask you more so about your just overall original ideas, original music. I was going through your, just the catalog there, and also noticed, you got some projects out there. But I wanted to ask you about the Chaos Awaits EP, man. I was drawn to the cover. Your covers are really unique. And I definitely had to check it out. I like what I heard, man. You were definitely spitting some deep stuff on it. But what was the overall inspiration to make this project here?
So the inspiration for that project, and it's going to be a kind of a lame lame answer, but those were kind of so those songs are kind of not kind of they are they're throwaways from the album that I'm working on now. But I
Oh.
figured going back to inspirations, Travis Scott dropped the Days Before Rodeo before he dropped
Mm-hmm.
the actual Rodeo.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking to myself, damn, like how can I promote this album I'm working on now? So if I drop an EP called Chaos Awaits before I drop my album Flying Through Chaos, oh, that would be great. And so I pretty much just pieced a bunch of songs that I feel like they're not good enough to make this cut, but I feel like these records are good enough for people to want to hear them.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of just formulated it into this EP thing where people could enjoy it, put it out there, and just what I mean, see what happens with it.
Yeah. I think that's a really dope idea, and it's once again, man, when you draw from your inspirations, it's part of the creative process. I forgot that Travis Scott did that with Days Before Rodeo and Rodeo, and
Yeah.
not too many. I don't think there's many artists who would do that type of style where they like drop the project before the project. You know what I mean? Like to build up to it. So I think that's definitely a good idea on that part, man. But speaking of this upcoming project, what can you speak on it that won't give away too much? But what's some details you can give us about this project you've been working on, man?
Okay. Wow.
Whatever
I don't
you're
know.
comfortable with, yeah, you don't gotta leak.
No,
You gotta leak
I can
too
like
much.
I can spill all the beans now only because the album is coming out like sooner than soon. Like
Okay,
expect
yeah.
it in like probably a month, I would say.
Hell yeah.
But with
All
this
right.
with this with this project, so the story behind it is flying through chaos. And I got the idea for the name. I don't have a decent cover yet, but I'm still working on that. But for the name Flying Through Chaos is because I was looking at old paintings and I saw one painting that said Satan's flight through chaos. And you could look it up, the painting on its own, but like that gave me inspiration. Like I sat there and I was, thinking to myself, like, damn, that's Satan's flight through chaos. That's a crazy name. But
Yeah.
I don't want to put Satan in the cover because I was like, wow, that's whack. And then, a week goes by and I'm listening to Kendrick Lamar's album Damn, and he's talking about, oh, like, are you gonna be wicked or are you gonna be good through this world you're going through because all this dark stuff. And I sat there and I'm like, that's a great concept. But how can I put that into my own life and make it my own concept? So I sat back and I was thinking, okay, flying through chaos, are you going to be good or thing? And I came to me like, okay, well, everybody goes through bad times. Everybody goes through trauma. Everybody goes through pain. But what if I make an album where each song is a different perspective from a different person on how that person handles their pain, handles their trauma, handles all that? Because some people would become narcissists. Some people will become more aggressive, more angry. They're villain phases, if you would. Or
Yeah.
some people will just end up trying to find God. Some people run away from God. Some people will become more depressed. Some people will reminisce on, you know what? I did all this good stuff. You decided to treat me bad, so I'm gonna remain being this good person. So the album, each song is a different perspective on how that person would react to all that, to the pain that they've been going through. Will you
Wow.
choose to be a good person or be a bad person, or maybe neither? Maybe you do your own thing. So many different topics like that it covers.
Yeah, 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 man. Wow, that's dope. I'm liking that concept, man, a lot. Are painting something you draw motivation and ideas from to write your music? Is that something you commonly do, or is this something you did for these collections of songs you're working on now?
I would say, yeah, some artwork does have a, like, because art, any form of art conveys emotion.
Hmm.
So let's say if I see a artwork or something, it conveys it brings an emotion out of me. So yeah, it definitely does inspire a feeling. I guess it does inspire a feeling, and I'm like, I want to make an album or a song that whatever that just made me feel, I want to put it back out, but into words, into sounds, into what we can hear. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Huh.
I feel like every artist should do that too, because like painting is a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Even some cinema as well, even sightseeing. Let's say you take a walk and you see like a beautiful sun. There was a nice sunset earlier. I took a picture of it actually. You know, you see the sunset and it conveys relaxing, it conveys a type of mood towards it. Maybe some
Yeah.
jazz, you know what I mean? So like you make a jazz inspired thing. I'm
Yeah.
putting on chapstick right now, don't mind me.
No, you're good, man. No, dude, I've always told people you can draw the littlest inspiration from everything, and I think it's such an important thing for that artists to take time off and just live. Living it will help you write
Yes.
music. If you're just always writing, you might end up just writing 20 of the same tracks. You got to go out there, look at shit, watch something, get the brain going. It's if you keep yourself in the box or keep yourself doing the same shit
Yeah.
all the time, you're gonna run out of things to say. I think artists think they will never run out of things to say until they hit the writer's block. That is,
Yeah.
the great, all greats go through it. Eminem's talked about it, Kendrick's talked about it. So it's something that we all could potentially face, and you gotta just move out and see things, and and draw inspiration from that sunset or that painting you saw. You feel me?
I've had so many writer blocks. You have no idea.
Oh
You have
yeah,
no idea. Like sometimes I take a month off from writing music, and then for some reason I just live life, and then I have like this one night from like 12 a.m. to 3 a.m. exam the next day, and I'm
yeah,
just making 7 songs straight,
yeah.
no chill, demon time.
Just
Like
like
this
it's
is
like, where is this coming from? Like, how am I being so creative?
exactly.
How am I being so creative here? Yeah, that's the process of creativity is something that like is just always fascinating me, and yeah,
And Dre said something about that. Dr. Dre, he said, once you hit that thing, don't stop because those will come very few. I don't want, that's not exactly what he said, but that's pretty much the gist of what he was saying. And I took that to heart. You know what I mean? I took
oh
that straight to heart.
yeah. When you feel those spurts of inspiration or creative moments, you gotta write it down, record it on your phone, whatever it is, because when it will hit you anywhere. You just be chilling at work and then be like, oh, thought of a line. Oh, let me go somewhere and let me record a melody on my phone. It's that serious. Like you got to catch it then, because don't trust your brain to remember it. It's like you're gonna forget.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna forget. And so yeah, I think that goes with a lot of things in life. If you have any good ideas, it doesn't have to just be for making music. So yeah, I hear you there,
Everything in
man.
life.
Yeah, exactly. Just record it, write it down ASAP. Journaling. It's just, I think everybody should have that form of release to, feel better. It's very important. But luckily as artists, we have this music to do that out on. But for the people that don't, man, I always imagine, like, what do you do to get out these thoughts and ideas? Like, if you're not going to therapy, you know what I mean? Like, I've always thought that to
What's
myself as I got
crazy?
older. Yeah.
I had a wild line about that. I had it written down. I don't know word for word, but I said, fuck a medical lesson. My music is my own therapy sessions. That shit was so. Oh my damn! I
Mm.
probably shouldn't have said that because I don't want nobody to steal that. But you know what? Don't steal that on
Nah,
me.
no. Yeah. Well, they heard it now, so they better not. Yeah, they better
I gotta
not.
record the
Yeah,
song like after this now. But
yeah.
like,
I like that
but like,
line, man. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's we're very, you know, it's very dope to be an artist in that aspect because you can just get all these emotions out and just, you know, it's
Of
just very
course,
therapeutic, man. I mean, obviously going to therapy is still important and all these things and, you know,
it
taking care
is.
of your
It's
mental,
very
but
brave to do. It's very
yeah.
brave to take accountability and to know that, hey, you know, I need help, I'm not okay, I need to see a professional. That's brave and someone to do. That's a lot of accountability. So doing that is a huge step for anybody who is seeking that help. I don't mean to invalidate that line, but I said that I didn't mean to invalidate
No, no,
anybody
but
going through
yeah.
thing, but like that is one brave step. So I do like, you know, I'm like, if you do that, like, you got my respect because that's very brave to do.
Yeah, and I mean, some people really need that shit. So, but for you, man, I think the line, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, but you know, but like with that line, the music could do that for you too. You know what I mean? Like, music could definitely do that shit for you, and writing and
Yeah.
journaling and just putting your thoughts down on paper. So, I mean, that's just another form of self therapy. You know, therapy in any aspect, physical, mental. It's all, you know, it can be done in many ways, and just seeing a therapist. So, I think, hey, man, it's a dope bar. I know exactly what you're trying to get off in that one, man.
Yeah.
I know
I
exactly
don't
what
want
you're
people
trying
to take it, run with it, and be like, "Oh, we're gonna cancel Invicte now.
yeah.
No more shows ahead." And I'm just like, "Damn, huh?
Really over
Guess I
that?
am
Yeah.
Kanye now."
Yeah, yeah. Oh no. Oh, that's hilarious, man. Oh, dude. Well, Victor, I got, you know, I got one more question for you in this episode right here, man. And you know, I feel like, you know, with the amount you put out, the artistic openness that you have in your daily life, you know, I definitely want to ask you, you know, and I ask this for every artist I have on, what is some starting advice you'd give to any artist who's starting making music? What's some tips that you give them that you wish someone gave you starting out?
Rome wasn't built in a day. When everybody starts to make music, they expect to blow up quick like 6ix9ine. They expect to blow up like Little Pump and all that stuff. And when they put out this, you know, they let's say they put out the music, cool, and it gets like 2 plays, 10 plays. That's how it was for me. And you know, you get the people comment saying, "Oh man, sounds like switch careers," or "This sounds fire on mute,"
Yeah.
or "Bro, don't quit your day job." Rome wasn't built in a day, and just keep working. Block out all the noise you're hearing because I feel like anybody who criticizes someone who tries to come out started to make music, I feel like they have their own little insecurity because they're not brave enough to go do it on themselves. If you take initiative to use your voice to say something powerful, which you like, you know what I mean, spread a message, and it could be whatever. That is like a huge step. So keep going, even if you know you're not the best, and people are gonna say you're not the best. And hell, maybe some of those people are right, but that doesn't mean you need to stop grinding. That doesn't mean you need to stop exactly what you're doing or give up on it. Because I sucked when I started. I had terrible comments. You know what I mean? People saying the most outlandish shit, but hard work beats talent every day. You could be the most gifted, talented person, but if you're not busting your ass, you're not gonna get anywhere. You know what I mean? It's not nothing's ever handed to you in life. So you work, you know, if you work hard, you keep grinding. You don't listen to what anybody says, and just work. You know, there's a rapper that passed away, XXX Tentacion. He
Yeah.
said, "What is real will prosper." So if your hard work, your work ethic is real, you're gonna prosper no matter what.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it.
Yeah. Real shit, man. Real
And
shit.
also, another thing to add on, my bad.
Yeah. Yeah. No, no.
Once you reached a point where you feel like, "Oh, I'm good," do not let that get to your head because you can always become better. Part of the downfall of a lot of these rappers is their arrogance, their ego, and all that. And sometimes I fall victim to it too. I'm sitting there like, "No, I'm the best. I feel like I'm the best. Da, 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 da.
I
No,
don't need to
stop
learn
me."
anymore.
But
Yeah. 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 It's like you're
hold
complacent.
on, bro. Like, relax, buddy. You can always get better because a lot of these rappers now, like people who are even blown up, they're still looking for ways to improve. Another one of my inspirations, Tyler the Creator. He always finds ways to improve on his sound and improve on his music. He never stops creating these ideas because he doesn't let all that get to his head. He doesn't let the ego get to him. So I feel like a lot of these rappers now who, you know, you could be great, the best thing ever, but once you have this ego where you think, no one can tell me anything, I don't need to take advice, no one can tell me anything, none of my collaborators, fuck you guys, I have all my ideas, da 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 da. You know what I mean? Once you get to that mindset, you're not going to progress anymore. So work hard, but don't lose track of, you know, don't lose track of who you really are and just be a student of the game pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I
you can
love
always learn.
Yeah, you can always learn, man. You can always learn, and that's something that I think is what keeps people going and keeps them inspired and lively. When you know there's always something more to get improve on. I think if you feel like you just got all the answers already, and there's as a breaking point, and you do gain arrogance, you do become irritable. It's a whole downslope of things. I feel like when you feel like you figured it out already, it's good to keep yourself interested in finding new things. So, yeah, man, I love the answer right there, Invicte. I really appreciate you for being on this week's episode, man. This has been a really dope one.
Oh yeah, it was a great episode. I'd love to be back.
Yeah, man. No, we can definitely run it back another time for sure, dog. Where can the people follow you? What's the social medias? Where
Oh
can they
hell
find
yeah.
you at? Where can they find Invicte?
Okay, so Instagram is fucking Invicte. That's funny because you're like, well, you're dissing yourself. Yeah. My Instagram is fucking Invicte. FUCKINVICTE. If I misspelled that, I'm such a head ass. But nah, you should be able to find me though. TikTok will be underscore Invicte. The profile picture will be like a little Mothman silhouette because I love like all that weird conspiracy theory shit. And
Hell yeah, man.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, uh, Spotify, Invicte, Apple Music, Invicte, SoundCloud, Invicte.
Yeah.
The link will be in my bio on my Instagram. So really, if you want to like come fuck with me, just click on my Instagram, follow my Instagram, fucking Invicte. Well, I have a whole link tree there. All my music's gonna be there, and just fucking vibe out.
Hell yeah, man. Appreciate you for being on the show, man. For real, for real.
For sure, for sure. Flying Through Chaos soon. Album is coming out sooner than soon. In a month, the first track of it, Narcissist, is gonna be dropping pretty soon as well, and that'll be a lead up into the album. And yeah, just
Y'all heard it.
respectfully saying, this is my best project. This is one I've really worked hard on. This is a passion project for me. I think the sound's much improved. The mastering's by God way better because the mixing in the last one was ass. But definitely, yeah, I've definitely improved the mixing and stuff like that. So yeah, come check it out. And hopefully, my personality was able to gravitate people on. If it turned you off, then hey, it turned you off. You'll come back around soon. I don't think it's that
Hey, hell yeah,
good.
man.
Confidence.
I love it. I
My
love it,
ego
man.
showing.
Yeah, yeah. I love it, man. I think you'll win over the people with this one, man. For real, for real.
I hope so.
Nah, man, I got you on that, man. Well, y'all heard it, man. Victor with the project coming soon. Ladies and gentlemen, that's another episode of TempahZone Podcast. Make sure you tune in next week for another episode. All righty? Peace out.